Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Parker, go by one who parks on Discord.
This is Aaron. I go by Treffenwood on Discord.
As always, welcome back for yet another riveting episode of Infamous. So starting out, we haven't done this in a while, media segment, at least it feels like it's been forever. I started watching a new show. It's on Netflix called The Diplomat. Have you guys watched this?
Have not.
It is. I started watching because I liked Carrie Russell in The Americans. I don't know if you guys ever watched that either, but I really like that show. But she basically plays a American ambassador in the show. But it's kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to say. It's kind of like House of Cards, but without complete psychos in the show. And so it's like just regular psychos. They're just a little crazy. But it's got a lot of good cast in it, so it's been very fun.
Nice.
I also found a video game I bought after playing the demo. It's called Castlecraft. It's basically Siege Warfare meets Minecraft. It's been pretty fun. Although I only played it for like 20 minutes, so.
Cool.
Yeah, so basically it's survive infinite waves, and you start off and you're a little Minecraft builder guy. You have to build defenses to fight off waves of skeletons and other monsters that attack the castle. And you can level up your guy and build like siege weaponry and traps and stuff, and then you can like attack the monsters yourself, and so you like level up your own equipment, and then you can like learn to cast spells and stuff and like shoot fireballs at them.
Cool.
So Aaron, how goes the training of the monsters?
Slow and steady.
Nice.
What?
I'm playing Monster Train 2.
Oh.
He's training monsters. Yeah.
What?
Or banishing them from my train.
Yeah, it's like choo-choo training.
Oh, did you buy the expansion?
No. I'm just plugging through all of
Oh.
the achievements and combinations of clans in the base game for now.
I haven't unlocked everything in the base game, but I thought about buying the expansion just because more stuff, more better usually. I really like. I got the free expansion. I got that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I enjoyed playing the old card, the old cards Redux, because they've actually changed some of the old ones, and
Yep.
Combining them with the new guys. That was fun. I actually haven't tried the expansion though. Beyond that, I do not know what the new one says. Did Slay the Spire 2 come out yet? Did that happen?
It's in early access.
Ah, okay.
I have not yet partaken.
Why would you? You got trains.
I know, right?
Yeah, we got trains. We're okay for the moment. My video games have been cool recently. I haven't actually. Not only have I not like had a video game excited, I'm also like I'm not missing it. I've been so occupied with so many nerd things. I don't have enough time for all the nerd things. But I actually have done some shows though and stuff. Like I finished Always Sunny. The last 2 episodes of Always Sunny are awesome. I made the terrible mistake of showing them to Sarah, and she ruined it, and it made me very upset. But I decided to forgive her, that she has many redeeming qualities, terrible taste in shows notwithstanding. She did not like it.
I thought you said she liked them.
She
She laughed at them but didn't enjoy them.
She cannot get past. She says they're crude, is what she says. They're crude. Now,
that's the point.
That's the thing is, I go.
They're vulgar, yeah.
Yeah, I get it, but like she liked Idiocracy. Like she thought Idiocracy was amazing. So, like, there's no.
Yeah, and it's very similar in like the whole point of the show is that you're supposed to be laughing at how terrible the people are.
Yeah.
Not laughing with the people, which is different than most shows.
Yeah.
Most often you're not laughing at the people in the show, you're laughing with them.
And Idiocracy has, like, the 2 main characters, that's who you're supposed to be, right? You are a regular person in this new world that's clearly insane. I don't think that she and with Idiocracy, there's this fun like buffer for people who don't like vulgar and crude humor, that it takes place in the future. This is not real. These are the people this is how people actually act, not the way people are in this like fictitious, silly future. And so like the movie was cleverly designed to let people like my wife enjoy crude humor, and Always Sunny, I think, is too real, right? Like,
yeah,
like, and
it's only like 10% past the line of what you actually expect to happen.
Yes,
but like, that 10% is where the magic happens,
right?
And so but you can't pull your brain away from the fact that it's like, I am supporting people that act like this. And
Yeah.
so like some people, that's just too much.
And you're exactly right. It's almost like a tacit endorsement of the behavior if you think it's funny.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it is. And she cannot get past, you're exactly right. She cannot get past that endorsement. But, and so that just frustrates the shit out of me because I'm just like, ugh, like, I'll say this on this podcast because, I think that it is, I think it's a good thing. I think it is a good thing if you can see something for what it is and not be your taste, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched a comedy designed as a comedy and not been willing to laugh at it, even though it's not for me. Like, my daughter loves this. Now it's very dated Disney Channel show called like Zach and Kate or something like, or something. I can't remember what it is. It's a Disney Channel original with featuring two teenage girls. The show is obviously for children and a very specific audience, and my daughter is exactly that 12-year-old girl audience right now. The show is not without value. Like, I've watched it over her shoulder a couple times, and I was like, this has comedic value. I make a chuckle. It's not for me, but just because the show is has themes that I don't relate to and premises that I think are silly, the writing, the comedy rather, has a value, right? Even though I don't like the content, the comedy has value, and I'm willing to laugh at it because somebody was trying to make me laugh, and it worked, right? So,
do you remember the movie Sky High?
Yeah, I watched the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's another one that's like, it's definitely designed for young adults, like in the early teens.
Yeah.
But there's parts of that movie that are fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Like, when Kurt Russell crushes the phone, he opens the kitchen drawer, and there's just 12 more handsets in there.
Yeah.
It's like, because it's like someone's like, what would happen if you actually had Superman to get frustrated? It's like, he would break things, like, accidentally, and he'd get annoyed. So he'd have a whole drawer full of phones.
Right.
Like,
that's a good gag, right?
Yeah,
it has having nothing to do with how much you like superheroes. But some people
or your age. Yeah, it's just you're laughing at a situation that clearly somebody put thought into.
Yeah. And so I think it's a good thing for for anyone who wants to appreciate art to be able to do that. And so when someone can't, like somebody can't because of X or Y, that bothers me. There's only one kind of music that I don't appreciate, and that is metal. I just don't appreciate metal that much. However, somebody once said there are some fantastic artists that made this specific kind of metal. I think the name of the band was Dream Theater. And he's like, you should listen to Dream Theater. And I was like, okay. And I listened to it, and I was like, I would never choose this, but this is ostensibly fantastic art. Like, this is wonderful music. I don't choose this, but amazing art. What artists, right? So I can appreciate the craft even if I don't have the right taste to enjoy it all the time. And so it bothers me when someone can't do that, and I'm trying to show them the craft. I'm like, look at this craft. Look what they did. Look at the situation they put in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Look how hilarious this was crafted so expertly for comedy. Yeah. And somebody goes, no, gross words. It reminds me too much of vulgar people that really exist. And I go, I know, but get past that to the wonderful craft. Look at this situation. In terms of a situational comedy, how wonderful is this? And she just couldn't get past it. And so I was like, I guess I lose. I lost an evening, and I was frustrated to boot. So I'll watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Get past yourself and enjoy it. It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And so then what did you do with all the soup?
I listened to that.
Just gonna point out that was an 8-minute lecture about people liking or not liking stuff.
I have bone to pick. I did not have a good day. Okay,
that's fair.
I did not have a good day. I'm struggling to appreciate things right now. Let me Kenny for a moment. I'm definitely I definitely have Kenny energy right now. The vibes are real, and that's definitely, I realized what I did just now is I ranted. But
no, because you're inverted Kenny at the moment. Because see, Kenny looks for the darkness in things. You're looking for the light at the end of the tunnel.
That's true. Yes, that is true. That is a good.
Penny can have a medium-ish day and is looking for reasons to be pissed off.
Yeah, you are precisely correct. I'm mad that people can't find the light, and I'm trying, but I'm mad because of it. That's the kidding
Parker,
part.
I have 3 questions for you. Number 1, is your basement currently flooded?
Ooh.
No, my basement is dry as a bone.
Okay.
Question 2.
Number 2,
be?
do you have gonorrhea?
I do not, that I know of, have gonorrhea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And question 3, have you ever heard a song talk about a 12-inch penis?
Yes, I've heard that. Yes. Don't get that stuck in my head again. It's an earworm.
With those answers, I don't understand how you could be having a bad day.
There's a false equivocation there. This is what's the best way? My day was less bad and more just spending. Like I just spent all my capital. And so what I'm excited to do right now is gripe. That's what I'm excited to do. I can try to turn that card over and be less negative about it. But that's what I'm excited to do. I'm excited to gripe.
Well, okay. Well, you're not going to be on our upcoming Judgment cast, so we should take 5 minutes and talk about Judgment.
Okay, I'm really excited that you said that because
no.
I have not been to talk to you guys about. I read the news. I actually posted on the Judgment forum. It's the very first post I ever made on the Judgment forum.
I saw.
Oh God.
Hey Parker, would you like to tell Brandon what's new in Judgment Realm?
Okay.
I have one stipulation. After I have to listen to this bullshit I don't care about, you guys have to listen to my most recent rant about MCP, but go ahead.
Okay. I'll gladly. If you're talking about your last cast, I actually listened to it, but I'm curious to know.
Okay, good.
You can do it in person. So they announced that for the next league, they were going to try a new format where they were going to allow tribes, but tribes are no longer going to be exempt from pick ban. So now
they're definitely listening to our cast.
Okay. I think they're listening to a lot of people. I do not think our idea is original, but we definitely were the biggest proponents of this. We were definitely big proponents of this. No one in our cast disagreed with this idea that as soon as tribes have 7 members, they should be using pick ban. And so that is what they're doing. To double down on this, what I thought was really interesting is they're not saying that undead just is exempt from this new rule. They're just saying you can't play undead because they don't have 7 members yet.
There's not 7.
Yeah, there's going to be soon apparently. Like they're likely.
Are there 7 dwarves?
Yes. There's 8.
I think there's 7 of everyone except for undead right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
because they added 2 goblins.
Right. And there are plans for there to be 7 dead before the end of 2026. 7 undead.
True.
That is. So.
Okay. I'll put that on my list of promises from CC, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's 100% chance. I'm just saying that's the plan. So I just thought that was absolutely huge. I was so happy to hear that. I hope that it's not a trial run and it's just what they're doing now. But I'm really glad that they're even thinking about it, and that's something they're trying out.
I feel like they could have just left undead in and said their special thing is they avoid pick ban, like because there's not enough of them yet, or I don't know.
Well,
completely
they want to get
seems a little excessive.
Feedback on tribes and how they feel at pick ban. So sure, they could do that, but then they're not. The purpose for like the trial league is to figure out, does this work? How does it feel? So
yeah.
Okay.
That's piece 1 of Judgment news.
Yes. So the next piece was let's see if I remember them in order. I think this might be the last one, which is the news about Adepticon next year. They're doing like a cool format, like a tribe, not a tribe only, but like a narrative format, right?
Yep.
And they're trying.
There's a narrative event.
Yeah, so they're doing like a narrative event where they're going to separate the tribes and gods into different affiliations, and certain events while you're playing or wins can contribute to the affiliation's influence over the course of Adepticon. And are they doing something besides just like award at the ends, like there are awards for individual contributors and the one side wins something and one side wins nothing, or they're doing something beyond that? I can't remember. There was something else, I think.
Whatever hero comes out after Adepticon is going to be given the gods that win the narrative event, if that makes sense.
Oh, they will be
They
champions
will be
of a god.
they will be champions of gods that partook in the event in some fashion, right? So there will be a
Right.
meaningful impact into what gets released and what affiliations that model is in.
Mhm.
Which I don't love. Like, I don't. Narrative is fine. It needs to not impact my competitive gaming. And so, if this model that's coming out could legitimately be in any god without breaking or being horrible, then great, fine. I have no issues.
Yeah, from like a game design standpoint, usually you reserve that for you're just going to make a model into those factions. If you already have the rules for said model set and you're just literally spinning a wheel for what faction they go in, I think that's bad.
It could be bad. There are probably a lot of models in Judgment that could literally be in any faction without being broken.
Yeah. I was going to say that my very first serious game I ever played was Legend of the Five Rings, and their big hallmark, like their big hook they hung on, was our players influence our cards. It was a TCG, and so they were constantly using tournament data to impact their story, which therefore impacted the cards. Now, the way they organize that is kind of very similar to the way these guys are doing it. They would have rules for concepts of cards, and then they would just put the faction, color on, based upon the tournament results. And that was just kind of how they did it, which I think it made for a really cool game. And the reason why I thought it was really cool at the time, and I still argue for it, is that it made going to tournaments really fascinating and important to players. Like, it gave people, rather than going there going, well, I'm going to play, pick one because it's the best one. People would go, I am a Krognar player. I want Krognar to be represented in releases. I'm going to go fight for Krognar, like my affiliation that I love, right? It created a space for those players that were excited to have that kind of experience, not just be a one-off event at Adepticon, but actually have an impact on the game that, you know, they could say, I contributed to that. Like, this was part of what I did. I also think, based upon the way they described it, the lists of the tribes and affiliations assigned to the different sides are so wide, they have a lot to choose from within that. I don't think there's going to be like, my example of Krognar, the model becomes Krognar, I think is much more specific than what theirs will be. They'll have options when they actually go to assign characters. I'm for
I
it.
I didn't play the TCG for Alpha Barb. I played the role playing game. I really appreciated how you could basically have pride in the faction you've chosen because you can go and represent them at conventions. So, like, for example, for MCP, if you're like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, so you're going to go play them in timelines trying to win or just do well with them. And if all the Guardians players do really well, then, they might get some, like, they would get Adam Morlock sooner or something. Like, they devote, development resources to the factions that were performing, even if it's just in attendance. Like, we had the most players, so we're going to get the next release or something. It was always cool to have sway over, like, the attention of the devs, basically, as opposed to, like, just getting buffs. Like, that's not what you were fighting for.
Right. Yes, it wasn't buffs. It really was like lore too. Like, they usually had, like, there's called, you remember the Test of the Topaz Champion, right? It's just like, it was something that all the affiliations in the lore, all the affiliations could send a champion to do this. So if you won the Test of the Topaz Champion enough times as an affiliation, then your characters would become the Topaz Champion, which would then get its own card and its own thing, and for the next expansion. It was cool. It was a really cool concept, and they have multiple versions of those kinds of narrative quests that players could interact with. It wouldn't affect the entire expansion, and that's the part that's a little bit odd, to say that, like, a whole wave of models will be based upon that event. But I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to see how it goes. I think that's a better move than just keep Adepticon an 8-person tournament that, comes and goes, makes a little blip, and that's about it.
Yep. And then the other most important piece of news, the last one.
Was it about the application, using the app?
Yeah.
Okay. So they are saying, and I don't know how much of an uncertain term this is, because I have not looked in the past 48 hours. I think last time I looked like 2 days ago. So I remember there was some So a lot of people are asking questions about how exactly it'll be implemented, but they are encouraging / mandating. I do not know which one it is.
Pretend it's mandating for now.
Okay. They are mandating that at official events, people can use the app to run their games instead of the cards and the counters. So,
So like my opponent will mark damage and souls on their phone and not on the table.
Yep.
Correct.
And so
okay.
I immediately, as soon as I saw that, I went and checked out the app, and without having stood across from an opponent with the app running at the same time to see how quick it is at communicating with my opponent, it seems perfectly reasonable, but we'll see.
I mean, so my Kenny has some takes that we'll go over next week, but I think this is a good initiative, and my leaning negative feelings are because I'm an established player that already has a system in place that works.
Yes.
But like when I got into War Machine Mark III, right? One of the primary reasons I bought into War Machine as opposed to a different game system at the time was I could spend $80. I get the app, run all your games in your app, track everything. Every rule will be published in the app. You never need to buy another rule book in anything, right? $80 done. And I was like, sweet, I'm sold. And so I bought War Machine and then spent thousands of dollars on actual models. So if I'm getting into Judgment, because one of our barriers to entry was, how do I track health? Like, do I write it on cards? I can't see your card. Like, so we, over months, developed a system that worked for us with D10s and 3D printed trays and physical cards. And then we go to an event, and we're using our system that works, and other people aren't, right? Other people are using different dial trackers, and they're just writing it on pieces of paper. Right? Everything is different, so it's a bit of an issue. I want to say that over the past 2 years, 3 years, the community has kind of found what is more or less our solution as the best one. However, if I go back to the mindset when we first got into Judgment, there's like, man, how do we do this? And the answer is, here's a free app. It tracks everything. You just pull it up on your phone, your iPad, you sync with your opponent, and you just go. And you want to see what their health is, you just look at your iPhone or your iPad, whatever it is. Samsung, who cares? I would imagine that would have been welcome at the time. And so, again, I think it's a good initiative, assuming it works well. But we'll see. Those are my initial thoughts.
I'd be interested to see how well the syncing integration works. Initially, I'm very against anything that tracks health that I can't see. But yeah, the functionality of the app itself would be very important as to how I feel about it. Like War Machine, a lot of people were okay with it because there was only a small number of models that had health pools, more than one, and the vast majority of those models had a lot of health, like 20 to 30. And so it's like, hey, how much health does this thing have left? It's like 16. Like, things died so quickly that you're almost exclusively you were at full health or you're about to die. Like, that was the two states of the game, pretty much. And so knowing specifics about health was not usually a big importance in the game, as where in Judgment, because all the models have very similar health pools. I think it's very important to know exactly how much health something has, because the difference between me deciding to charge you and needing to roll a crit and a solid versus two solids is a pretty big difference. And so, I would want to be able to physically see that stuff, but it also depends on what all they're planning on tracking. If it's just health, that's probably okay. If they're going to actually track like conditions and souls and stuff, I'm very against that. I think health pools is one thing because it's just a number I need to know. Like being able to visually see who has souls on them and who's on fire, I think is something I need to be able to see at a glance.
There's actually a primer out there. I have to go find it.
Oh,
I haven't even read it yet.
Oh, okay. No, I used it myself, just like played around with it. And you can track every single condition of the game. Every single game state condition you can track on there. So you can do conditions, you can do souls, you can do all that stuff. If you want to, you can track everything on it.
But here's their recommendation, is that on the table you track fate, hero tokens, souls, conditions, and Shadow Mist. And the app should track health, monster summon health, various hero effects like Ward, Mark Target, Honor Guard, and unique hero statuses like Temp Health.
Yeah, that seems like a fairly good split.
Credit to them. This is after they playtested and they kind of figured out what do we need to see on the table, what don't we, etc.
Like the difference between knowing if somebody has 5 Shadow Mist tokens and 0 is a pretty big different game state.
Right. And conditions being on the board, I could at a glance take in his entire board of models to see who's knocked down, who's on fire, etc. And it really doesn't. I don't think that was ever the issue. The biggest issue was being able to see someone's health from across the table. Anyway, this will alleviate the need to print out cards every 6 months when they re-update, and it will eliminate the need for people to print out D10s and holders, right? So it'll clean up the play space a lot. Now, I'm an old boomer, and I like my tactile, being able to look at my cards and flip it over. So a lot of this will just, I've got to try it out and see what I actually think about it. But I understand why they're doing it. I think it's good for the growth of the game. Whether I'm going to like it or not specifically is a TBD.
I think I will only love the card part. That I can take the cards off the table. For the most part, I don't have to look down at cards that often, and when I do, it's because I'm trying to read very specific text, and I would much rather have that very specific text in its most updated form. It bothers the shit out of me how much card management it's like just like sleeve and card management I have to do for Judgment, just because they don't print actual cards, so I have to make paper, and then I don't like floppy bullshit, and so I have to find backings, and it's just there's so much physical management of that stuff because they don't provide it in the game automatically that I am really, really happy that I don't have to do that anymore. When it comes to every other factor of the game, like the tokens and all that stuff, I think it's good that they're making a differentiation that'll go on the table. But I love that I don't have to manage the cards anymore. Such a pain in the ass. I hated it. It irked me every time I had some black and white printings because they were the new ones and I didn't have access to a color printer. And I have some like old, really beautiful ones because they just haven't changed that character yet. I'm constantly having to like the sizing that they put in those Google Docs that they put out is not perfect. Like depending upon the printer, sometimes they were a little too big, sometimes they were a little too small. And
you wanted it just right.
Yeah, it really bothered the shit out of me that I couldn't see on some of my cards.
I've spent hours just trying to make sure my cards come out the right size.
Yeah,
not just for Judgment, for other games too. Any print to play stuff, I'm very particular about my stuff. I want it to be the correct way. Yeah. And I don't want different batches of cards to be different sizes.
Exactly.
Like it all needs to be exactly the same. So I have like documents saved on my computer that has the correct sizing on everything.
Right.
Because and why I did like my spell cards for Old World, it's like I want to fit in the sleeve and not be loose. It needs to be the right size and like so just everything.
So Parker,
also, go ahead.
With this specific change on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you
about them going to the app?
Mm-hmm. Let's say that an app is required, and I get this. Like if you have new people come to the game who don't end up buying D10s and all that fun stuff, don't print out cards. Like they're part of the selling point is just download the app and play, and then they show up to an event and you don't have the app, but they do. It's kind of awkward, right? They're like, well, if you want to see my hero's health, I bet. Anyway, it really only works if everyone's on the same page regarding physical display or electronic display. So,
what happens when they run their 5-round tournament and your phone dies?
We'll get there in a second. So, Parker, mandating app usage for tournaments starting in 2 months, both locally and nationally.
I am a 8 out of 10.
Brandon, I realize you're not a current hardcore playing Judgment.
When you say mandate, they say required that everyone uses the app?
Yes.
I'm not playing the game.
Okay.
100% out.
How would you, if it's not mandated?
If you just said people were allowed to use the apps, I would probably put that at somewhere between 4 to 6 out of 10. I'm mostly indifferent. My opponent's using an app and they're using it for just health. I think I'm very happy with that. If they're using it to track conditions and souls, I'm much less happy about that. If the company tells me I have to use their app or I can't play the game, I'm not playing the game.
Do you think there's a world in which app usage could be available but not required? Like, how does one
Sure.
person play on the
Yeah.
app and the other person doesn't? They just tell me my
You
health.
just ask, you ask them questions. They tell you, just like if you couldn't read their cards from across the table.
Okay.
And it's annoying if like, hey, how much health does this guy have? And the person's like not quick with it. Like, hey, I need to, like, if you're gonna keep track of something I can't see, you need to be quick with the answers. Because this is what happened in War Machine: is you would get into these situations where it's like, let's say we have 12 models in the game that are under your control that all have damage on them. It's like, all right, I need to know all of their health in order and what systems are broken on them and like what negatives they have, basically. It's like, I'm going to flip the clock to you and you're going to explain all this to me on your time while I'm making decisions, because you have chosen to mark this in a way that I don't have access to the information. So it's now your job to give me the information when I need it. And so it's a little awkward depending. Most of the time you don't get to that situation because it's like, hey, how much health does Styx have? And you're like, 11. You're like, okay. We don't, like, that's all we need.
Right.
But there are times when it gets complex and you're like, I'm trying to make a very important decision. I need to know all the information, but because I can't see it, now you are basically the storyteller of our role-playing game, and you're giving me all of the information as I ask for it, and that is much slower than you just putting markers on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to burn my time while you orate to me the game state. Like, that's not what I want to do. But I don't think it's something that should be prohibited either. I think having the app is a good thing. Having people able to use it is a good thing. I think requiring anyone to use or not use any particular marking system as long as it's appropriate is stupid. Like, so the app should be allowed as long as people are doing it properly, and it's not, like I said earlier, it's not tracking every aspect of the game that a lot of it should be marked on the table. It's like, are you going to mark activated in your app as well? And so I have to ask you who's gone and who hasn't in a long turn. So I think there's definitely stuff that should be marked on the table. And as long as that stuff is marked on the table, I'm very app friendly.
Another thing you could, something you could do also, if you said I really want to play analog, right? I don't want to have to use the app, is just bring 2 sets of health trackers, just like, and then keep track of their health yourself. Like, if, in my opinion, if you are so sure that you don't want to, have to look at the app, that you're that against it, then it'll be your responsibility to fix that. Because I think if the game company says we're playing our game on an app and you really, really don't like it, then you could do something about that yourself. You don't have to just say no, cross your arms and sit down and say I'm not gonna. But
okay, Brandon, I think get behind everything you're saying.
One of my bigger issues I had for War Machine marking damage is they added a feature later to it that you would, when you're entering damage, there's basically a slider bar that lets you scroll for the amount of damage you're dealing, and then you assign location to the damage because their things had locations. But the big thing is, like, while they're marking damage, there's a big number where it says how much damage they're taking at the top. And the first version of the app didn't have this. It was very difficult to audit your opponent when they were marking damage. And so you're like, hey, I did 7. It's hard to tell if they did 6, 8, 7, somewhere in there. It looks about right, but it's hard to tell for sure how much damage they're marking. And so we get to the point where it's like, okay, I just end my activation. It's like I'm adding up the damage. And they're like, you should be dead. You had 12. I did 13, but they have 1 left. And it's like, so you only marked 11, or did I miscount? And so it's easier to audit people, in my opinion, when there's a physical tokens. And so, like, life damage tokens that you put on the card. With the dice is another reason I don't like it, is because once they picked up the die, there's no history. We can't back up. The die has been moved. And so I'm not a big fan of dice for that same reason. If my opponent is holding their phone marking damage when I can't see the screen, I'm not a huge fan of that, because it's now my responsibility to make sure they're not messing up, because I can't watch them do it. And so I have to, like, mentally keep track. And so,
and this is,
there's quirks.
If you choose not to, right? Deal. But it's also a completely free app you can just download and play with.
Assuming the syncing works correctly, because
correct. Yep.
The War Machine app never worked with syncing.
War Machine was horrible syncing, I agree.
Yeah, the app was great, but the syncing was terrible. Yep. But also that means that not only am I running my phone while I'm playing a game all day, and at cons that's a big deal, but at cons you have very limited internet access, and it syncs through the internet, so your cell phone is constantly pinging data at maximum usage, because it's constantly buffering. And it's going to drain the shit out of your battery if you're actually syncing with somebody.
So here's the last thing, we'll talk about this and then move on to something else. But again, I think I'm a cautiously thumbs up on this direction. The one thing I'm not thumbs up on is Gunmeister's PR capabilities. Because people had the same concerns, right? They're like, what about, the Wi-Fi at hotels is shit? What about a battery? Or, what about my phone battery? And they're like, get a charger. I'm like, okay. There are just better ways to come across when you're saying, hey, we're making this big sweeping change. It just comes down to how you say it, right? Okay. It just basically, they didn't seem like they were listening. They were very much in a telling. This is what we're doing. And
did they
don't
approach it as it's going to be a required thing?
Yeah, 100%.
They said you will not be able to play the game unless you have the app.
Correct.
Okay. Have fun.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously historically anyone who's played a game that uses an app for tracking, if your phone dies and the data is not recoverable, you lose the game, which is not great, but it is the way things work. It'd be the equivalent of you throwing all of your cards in the trash while you're in the middle of a game. Like, you're like, well, this was a bad choice. But anyway, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I am not against the app being used in general, but I think requiring people to use an app I understand that like 99% of people have smart devices, but not everybody has one that has a good battery, and not everyone has great cell service, especially at hotels when there's a million people on the same tower. So I see that being an issue.
And I think good ideas and good games sell themselves. So if you came out with that app and say, hey, we'd like for you guys to try this out, you encourage it. People start trying it out. It's great. They adopt it. And then it just slowly takes over. Like, that's how I would do things, as opposed to, heavy-handed mandation.
Yeah, I think the app has a potential for a huge upside. I don't have a lot of optimism considering their track record of executing things, but
so this is Gunmeister, not Creature
they're going to
Caster.
fail.
Okay. I have a lot more faith there.
I have a lot less skepticism there, but I don't have a lot of faith because I have not seen them do a lot of things that have come off flawlessly. Like, I've never seen really either side of this two-headed monster do anything that looks like aptitude. Like, I'm not optimistic. But again, I am, cautiously optimistic on the app. I think it's something that they really need because people having instant access to updated cards would be amazing. Are they going to have like quick links to like definitions and stuff?
Yep.
Or is it just pictures?
Nope. And it's
a link to the rules. That's great.
It's a lot of work in progress, but yes, a lot of that is already functioning.
Yeah, I think trying to require people to like, oh, your phone slipped off the charger while you were sleeping in the hotel room. Guess you can't play in the tournament today. Like, it's just so many stupid things that can come up from it. I think it's a great option. Forcing people to use it is stupid. Anyway.
Here's the other bit, which is you can say we're asking people to use it. This is the part of our tournament, and then on the tournament day, you can be that TO that says the person comes up to you and says, "Hey, my phone is dead. I don't have access to this, and so I have a loaner, kit of 3D printed stuff so you can keep track of your shit." And in the same way that people give me random cards because I accidentally didn't bring any of my goblin cards at Adepticon, somebody might turn around and say, oh, hey, here's my spare mobile charger. Like, I don't think it actually, the number of times a player will be barred because they absolutely cannot find a solution to this problem is going to be little to zero, I think.
Sure.
And that's just because there's a community around you of people both in charge and playing with you that are excited to let you participate. So I think that kind of doomsaying has a limitation. Not to say it's completely unwarranted. It's just there's a grain of salt with it. I will say this though, there are half measures they could have done instead of mandation. Like, one half measure could have been to say, since we're now making this app and we're asking people to use it, we will no longer be updating the pictures of the cards on the Google Drive, for example. So they're just saying we're not making any more print to play cards. That's just not something we're going to be doing, and not a service we're going to be providing.
Sure, you could just get the image from the app. But
right.
Yeah.
Yes, you could, but you'll have to do that yourself now. We're not doing that anymore.
No, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah,
again, I think the app's a good thing, but I don't think anytime you're just going to lock some people out, and admittedly that number of people will be small, But it's not just that you're locking people out; it will also discourage some people. Where it's like, oh, I don't do apps on my phone. Like I need my phone for work. I can't install like game apps on it. I'm not going to go buy a second smart device so that I can play this game, which is definitely something that people run into. That's not nothing. Like there's a percentage of people that don't have a personal phone. They only have their work phone because they don't use private apps. But yeah, again, it's my only problem with it is the requirement, which I think everyone agrees. I don't see the benefit in requiring your customers to use an app, and not every app is like especially a small app is not super stable. The apps will have issues, and there will be broken moments in games where your app crashes and is unrecoverable. Like that just happens a certain percentage of the time. Like Longshanks went down one time while they were trying to run some massive tournament, and they were like, I believe it was at LVO, and like they had to wait 2 hours for it to get back up, and it's because they were all using the website to run their pairings. So it's like they just couldn't fix it. It's like, what happens when that's in the middle of your tournament? Like, oh, the app's down for maintenance. Fuck us, I guess.
I don't see the rules functionality, but everything else in the app that I just downloaded and I'm looking at seems fine. Anyway, we'll test it out. We'll see.
Cool.
I was excited about all three of those. That's my overall thing was very positive, and that made me really happy because the last couple times Judgment has dropped a big news of any kind, I was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess. So after months of feeling meh, very underwhelmed every time, I was very happy. That's why I did something very uncharacteristic, and I made a post. I was like, I will post on this forum you guys use and approve.
Is it actually a forum?
No.
Discord, whatever.
Discord thread.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it's not the same thing.
Is it? Is it not? Is Discord not?
No.
Just a forum?
Discord is definitely not a forum.
Okay.
All right. So the thing I want to chat with you guys about, I want to see if I'm just insane. I haven't gotten any feedback on this yet, but Parker said he listened to our episode. So we talked about the new Sentinels cards that got spoiled in the panel to play last week. So Aaron, I'm going to read you a card. I want you to tell me what the effect is.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this yet. I don't think you have. Card is called A Perfect Future. It's unaffiliated reactive. When Nimrod dazes or KOs an enemy character during his activation, he may spend 2 power to play this card, period. Nimrod moves long and uses the L symbol. What happens?
I understand the intent, I think.
Yeah, intent is weird with this company, so...
Yeah. Is reactive an issue?
No.
Okay. Well, why don't you just
So
tell me what the
it's
problem is?
basically, there's the name of the character, one word, and then the L symbol. So moves is my problem.
Is it supposed to be
the term
advances?
moves within the game means any type of movement. It does not specify placing,
so it should
pushing,
be an advance.
advancing. It should be, I think they intended, what I actually think they meant is become speed long, is what I think they intended.
I think they intended advances long, but your idea
that wouldn't
is
surprise me
possible.
at all. Right, because it's like he's evolving because he's killed somebody.
You're not wrong. Like, that's 100% like part of the comic is, yeah.
Right. And so that was initially I assumed it was advanced long, just like the Ghost Rider thing, where it's like, Hell on Wheels, but he drives long. That's what I initially thought. And then I read it again. I went, that doesn't say advance. And moves in this terminology is any movement is counted as a move. And if you look at move or movement in the rulebook, it explains that there's 5 types of movement, and it does not specify which of them you're doing.
So there is no chance in hell that they decided to truncate. Speed becomes long for the duration of the game. Into
there
moves.
Isn't a duration, so it would be permanent. And I think speed versus moves is as easy to mix up as move versus advance.
This means advance, and they just forgot a keyword.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Completely fine accepting that. What would you rule in a tournament if somebody played this card as printed with no ruling?
That's what I would rule.
Nothing happens?
No, I would rule that Nimrod may immediately make an advance long.
Well, that's not what the card does, though. What if I want to place him long?
This is why I'm not a TO for MCP right now.
Can I throw him long? That's a movement.
You may not.
Well, why not?
Because I just made a fucking ruling.
Well, okay, fine.
You're taking.
You see my point, though?
Yeah. You guys went on a long rant of the podcast about how this card does either nothing or anything, and I think the moral of the story. Oh my gosh, I can't talk.
Stop dying.
Are you sure you don't have gonorrhea?
He's not that sure.
I didn't think so.
I actually don't know any of the symptoms for gonorrhea, but I feel like you'd know if you had it.
Well, it starts with some people call it upper chest congestion, exactly like Parker just demonstrated.
Nice. Yeah. Parker, you have gonorrhea.
I turned my mic off to spare everyone that, but that was terrible.
Good.
And no, that was not gonorrhea. Why did I say that out loud? Of course it's not gonorrhea. You guys are trolling me. Why the fuck would I engage with that shit? This card absolutely. The part of this card that is most infuriating to me is not the fact that it does nothing or anything. It's that after how many fucking years of this game have they been able to produce cards clearly still cannot do this once. Like the one thing you guys said in the podcast is like, did ChatGPT write this shit? Are they outsourcing this to something interns, that's not a person? Like how could this miss the most basic of proofreading? Like the fact that you guys caught it. The
majority of people that I have talked to, upon reading the sentence twice, go, "Wait a second."
Yeah,
like it's not a hard thing to catch.
Right.
It's not like a missing period somewhere. Like this word doesn't mean anything.
You know what?
This word should not be in the sentence.
Ooh, I have a reasonable explanation for this. This is a backstroke of the West. You remember the Star Wars movie where they put it into Mandarin and then back into English? Yeah. What if they accidentally translated this card into a different language, lost the original English text somehow, and then just translated it off the Spanish or French or something? Or
so I actually don't think that's the case. Because we tried to make a segment that was like got garbled in translation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work anymore. Translators are too good. And they correct for stuff like that.
But advancing
so if they
and
did
moves
do it,
could
like
be that could be
obviously right. Like the translator might not know that the word "move" versus "movement" is a very important distinction, or "advance" versus "movement" is different. And so it maybe I really don't see that, but
I'm just looking for a possible explanation for how this.
I find it more likely that it originally had a longer sentence. They're like, "This is extra text, just cut it down." And they just said, change it to moves long. And the person who was physically making the change didn't realize they meant advance long. They just like cut the rest of the sentence is the only thing I can see. And it was just like a procedural logistics thing of somebody made a reduction in word count that ended up fucking them.
Perhaps.
But even still, the reason I don't think that this card says advance long is because he already places 2. And think about it, like, when would you want to kill someone and then move long? Because if they had an extract token, you can't pick it up. Because you have to advance long immediately as a reaction.
Right.
And so it's like, this card is almost worthless if it says advance long, because it costs too much and does too little for an already expensive character that can already mimic abilities like that instead of just... Like, I think he's supposed to become speed long, is my guess. But that's also looking to play a card as opposed to throw a card in the trash.
And, move speed long would make sense with their... In general, they like to print cards that are more about theme than have anything to do with, like, balance or sense. They're just like, nope, this is thematic. This is... Craven took over Peter Parker's identity after he murdered him or whatever shit. Like, we're going to have this happen. You're like, this is dumb.
I take off my Craven mask, which is just skin. And I was Peter Parker the whole time. Just rip my entire skin face off.
Yeah. I thought I enjoyed listening to your guys' podcast because I was curious how you guys how you felt specifically about the tactics cards in there, because I thought they were there was one interesting one I'm definitely going to do, but it's bad, and then one that's everybody's going to be heeing and hawing about forever, but actually never come to anything.
The one that's cancer for the game, yeah.
But I think it's what everybody thinks it is, and then when it actually gets played, it won't be. It will.
Well, I don't think right now it's even good. I think the problem is it prevents them from slowing down the pacing of the game. They're writing cards now that locks them into the current tempo, which the current tempo is the worst thing about the game. And so they're just nailing into the coffin, like, repeatedly. Like, they're just pouring concrete on the grave. Like, it's done. is how I feel.
And specifically, I think it's fun when you introduce alternative win conditions into a game. I think that's fun. And I don't think they broke it. I don't think that card breaks an alternative win condition. I like that they did it, but I don't think anybody should be scared of it or anything. Anybody should go, "Oh, good, now we can do this." I think it's just
well, if you went from the game ending on turn 3.5 to ending on turn 5.5, that card becomes really fucking good, like really, really good, and that's the problem. Like all you have to do is start playing for stalling.
But that's not. But that's not a problem. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not a problem if an affiliation has access to a tactics card that makes them really good in a specific scenario that already exists in the game. Like X-Men are already good at certain scenario combinations. Guardians are really good at certain scenario combinations.
I think that's a difference of gaining an advantage, and if the game tempo changes to you get to turn 6 50% of the time, that card becomes extremely meta relevant.
Yeah.
And it's not just an alternate win con, it's saying that I win 50% of the games because of this tactics card.
I don't think that's true, because you have to have 2 Sentinel characters alive at the end of the game to do it. Like, you have to have 2 Sentinel characters with 11 power together to do it. Like, it's conditional many times.
Yeah, no, it's not easy to pull off, but it is. I think it becomes extremely relevant. The fact that it also gives you huge tiebreakers because of the dumb way that tournaments have decided to do tiebreakers, is also very relevant.
I guess what I'm saying is there are ways to run up. There are ways for people to, there are ways for different affiliations to use tactics cards to run up score counters, and they're typically not done except for the really consistent early game ones. And so I think, and those,
which ones affect the tiebreakers though?
Like you could do Modoc's cards, for example. Like he has several cards that let you score more. Not 6, but you can score more.
Right, but none of them score above the normal win mount. Like they accelerate your scoring during the game, but they don't let you overcap your normal.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They get you to 16 or 17 or 18, but
like,
you're not going to get
with this card. Yeah. You could potentially score like 28 points.
Well, 21 in a game, right? Because if you get to 15, it's over.
No, because you could on turn 6 you do normal scoring, and then the card comes into play.
I thought you guys decided, and I need to look at the timing. But
so it's the game would have to be tied.
Oh, you're saying that's right. It's the tied at
where you go above and beyond 16,
right?
But even like you were saying, even if you land at 15, you score to 21.
Yeah.
And in a game that you're making it to turn 6 half the time, that means that you're struggling to get to 16, which means that you're going to have a huge tiebreaker over everybody else.
Okay.
And if neither player gets to 16, you still get the +6, and so you might be like 15-13, and you scored to 19 with the card. And so I just think it's a bad precedent. I don't think this is the thing that's going to break the game by any means. I just think it's a bad design philosophy is the problem. I agree. I like alternate win methods, but I like ones that don't affect like tournament results.
It is true that they did kind of a funny happenstance that they did that.
Right.
But that part could be amended. But I do like the idea that you could play a different style of game or discover one halfway through and be like, well, the first way didn't win, so I guess I'll try for this card. I put it as one of the 5 just in case. I think it's a cool concept. Also, as someone who really wants to play Sentinels and looks at their win conditions right now and staring at it, one of the ways they could win is by making the game a little longer. I think it's cool that they could use a card that helps them do that. That's cool. But we'll see. Aaron, would you like a card that lets you score 6 victory points at the very end of the game?
If I wanted to win, I would. If I wanted to, go home not feeling dirty, then no.
But Aaron, let's be frank here. We know each other here. We're honest with each other here. You would love to make someone cry by going into round 6 with 2 Sentinels with 11 power, and at the end be down by 5 and play that card to win. That would be a very Aaron kind of thing, right? That would be to watch your opponents, the light die from their eyes as they realize that you had that text card, and you say, "I play," and then I've seen you do it. I've seen you. What was the famous moment? What did you play? I play. It wasn't Brace for Impact. What was it?
Mission Objective.
That's right. I played Mission Objective. I played Mission Objective. I forgot what the name of the card was. I'll never forget that moment in my whole life. Aaron just looked you dead in the face, Brandon, and told a lie.
Exactly. I won that game.
I looked down. I was like, "There's no mission objective here." He's like, "Nope." Oh shit! Oh, that was so fun. So, Aaron, there's room for that in your heart, right? There's room for that to occur.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So, Parker, do you have your Blood Bowl team yet?
No, the one you were letting me borrow. Is that the one we're talking about?
I tried to let you borrow a team, but I don't know if CJ got you yours back yet.
No, he has not got my back yet, nor has he mentioned it to me. So, no, I do not have it. I am excited though. Gonna get me some dark elves. Gonna stab somebody. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I will say that we have a surprisingly high number of people playing stab models.
What, like lizard? Isn't it just lizardmen and assassins and the lizardman character, right? The assassins.
Oh no,
who else stabs?
The gutter runners from Skaven have stab.
Oh, they have stab now? That's new, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I did not know they could stab things. That's fun. I like that. That's funny.
I think it's just them and the assassin in the core positional models.
I'm very excited to play some elves. I want to play something that's not herp drip 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 drip, where you just kind of move 4 and hope they don't move 6 because you can't catch them. It'll be fun to be able to blitz without trying to go for it every time. What they changed the name? I thought Go For It was the name
Rush,
of it.
Yeah.
They call it Rush now.
It used to be Go For It. Yeah,
it used to be Go For It.
Now.
I kept getting checked every time I called it Go For It at the Adepticon. I was like, I'm going to go for it, and they're like, what? And I was like, roll a dice 2+. And he goes, oh, that's Rush. And I go, oh, nah.
Really? They didn't know what it was called?
No, I most of the time I'm being facetious, but most of the time
okay.
They would just correct me. It's like Rush, and I was like, what? I just didn't know what they were talking about. Why'd they change it? Go For It was a great name. Go For It was awesome. That seems unnecessary.
I think it's actually just letter count in the book.
Aaron,
because it mentions it like 30 times, and so it drops your word count from 3 to 1.
Aaron, do you still go for it, or do you rush?
Most of the time, I GFI.
GFI. Look at that. Go for it is too long.
Yeah.
So you went from 3 syllables to 3 syllables, sort of.
Yeah, it's like GSW. I really wanted to say more syllables than gunshot wound.
I don't know. I'll have to have someone tell me.
I've caught him saying both.
Yeah, so. I think I've used them interchangeably at this point.
Mm-hmm. I do it the same. I'll use it interchangeably. It's basically whatever I'm thinking about. If I'm really in the weeds thinking about advanced strategy, Go For It. It's more natural.
Yep.
But if I'm just playing at a normal rate, I'll say Rush because it's more present in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Was it last weekend? I went up to Nebraska for a Blood Bowl tournament, and I lost a tournament on the most epic way possible.
Ooh, do tell.
Without giving a rundown, I won the first 2 games, went to the top table. If I tie, I win. And playing against Wood Elves, I'm playing Nobility. They are able to roll some dice to score in their drive. I've got the ball, and I am just methodically matriculating down the field, pushing their people out of bounds. Everything is going great. I've got 2 rerolls left. I ended up burning one on turn 7 for a double skull or something, low chance, but I had to reroll it. So I don't have any rerolls in the turn 8. And based on positioning, all I had to do was block one person, and I needed anything but double skulls. Every other dice worked for me, and I had 2 dice. So it's a 2-die block, so 35 out of 36% chance. Roll the dice, dub skulls, I fail, don't score, lose the game 1-0.
Oh.
It was a really, really good game. And because of that, I dropped from first to third.
You got Blood Bowl.
I did.
Man. You know where my head went immediately upon that story? Is I went straight to, okay, Parker, you travel for a tournament, you're sitting there, final round, ready to score, you roll double skulls. Do you ever play Blood Bowl again?
I immediately gave him a high five and told him congrats.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to do, right? And that's when I had to think, the game was a great game up until that moment. Mm-hmm. The die roll did not have any effect on how great that game was. Yeah. Only whether I got the win or the tie for that game or the loss.
Yeah.
And so, did I want to win the tournament and take home the championship prize? Yes, obviously I did. And so, there was a little bit of disappointment inside. But like 15%, 85%, I was just like, yep, that was a great game.
Yeah, I think I've done a really good job since returning to Blood Bowl in separating choices from results. And that's something I still struggle with MCP, because I'll do something where I'm like, this is the obviously correct move, and dice will just shit on you, and you're like, okay, well, I got punished for making the right move. But in Blood Bowl, it's weird because even in failure, so often your decisions still matter. Like the fact that you chose to make a dodge roll as opposed to throw a block. Now that I've made that choice, even if I fall down or don't fall down, if he breaks my arm or doesn't break my arm, the game state's still different. And so you can make choices knowing that if you fail it, this will happen. If you pass it, this will happen. Or MCP, like, there's no real status of your models, like being knocked down or prone. None of that doesn't really matter. And your models like actually die more often than they do in Blood Bowl. It's pretty rare in Blood Bowl that your models get permanently taken out of the game on individual attack basis. So I think I've done a really good job of separating results from decision making, which I've been really happy about. Although I've rolled so bad on rushes, if you will, over the last 3 weeks. I failed multiple re-rolled rushes in that time span. I think I've had 3 fail, rushes with re-rolls, 2+ with a re-roll failed. I've failed at least 3 of them in the last 3 weeks. It's been crazy. Nice. You don't do it that often.
Yep.
It's maybe once a turn I'll usually do a go for it, and they're just failing left and right.
This is how interesting the game was. At some turn, he is coming into me with a Witch Elf, or someone with Frenzy. Maybe it wasn't a Witch Elf, but
War Dancer.
Nope, he's playing Wood Elves, so he must have either given them Frenzy, because I don't think they come with Frenzy innately.
I will tell you.
Claws Wrestle. It had to have been.
They do not have Frenzy base.
Or maybe it wasn't Frenzy. Maybe it was just he came in and he threw a block. And I'm caging kind of on the sideline. And he is a 2-die block uphill into my cage corner. I think he rolls Skull Pow. I take the Pow. Let my guy get knocked down. For whatever reason, they had to follow. So it was definitely Frenzy. So they followed up next to my ball carrier. And then they did some other stuff in past turn. And I proceeded to push that person 4 squares. This was their Blodge Blitzer. Push them 4 squares out of bounds. Because I sucked them into my, octopus tentacles and just spat them out the other side where they. Yeah. I don't give 2 shits about your Blodge. It's just going to go out into the crowd. And I was just doing that once every turn as best I could. Because I had Frenzy. Yeah. And so if he was within 2 of the sideline, I could push him out.
Who's Frenzy?
Who? What do you mean?
Who's Frenzy on your team?
One of my.
Did you give it? Oh, yes. You gave it to them?
I will specifically give Frenzy as one of the strongly suggested skills I want almost always take. So that's just anyway. Looking at the matchup and seeing that I needed to attrit him more, and he wasn't giving me blocks. He was just withdrawing his entire defense 1 square away from me, and I can't win unless I get his models out of the way. Because elves will play what's called a columns defense, which basically just it's prevent defense in football. We're not going to let you hit us, and you're going to have to roll some really bad dice because you can't push down the field to score in time. And I countered that by forcing his guys off the pitch. Anyway, like I said, it's a really good game. Some interesting decisions.
Yeah, I played against Wood Elves at Adepticon, my first game, and I was so happy that I didn't lose by 3. I lost. Yeah. It was 1-0, and I felt I felt very vindicated. I was like, man, 1-0, I did it because because I know these guys are just so good at completely eliminating my ability to interact with them, and so I managed to prevent them from just leaving and scoring. They left. I didn't get to throw a whole lot of blocks, but at least they didn't score 1,000,000 points.
Dude, what the fuck? Why are Wood Elf catchers so cheap? They're only 90k.
Because they're strength 2.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I'm so used to all of the catchers are now strength 3. They changed all that, everybody. Okay, strength 2 makes more sense. I think all catchers should still be strength 2. That's a dumb change.
No, it's fine.
It just makes them like the best player on most teams, maybe except for the blitzer, because they're faster than everybody. They generally have like 2 or 3 skills,
which is fine. They've got the catching dodgy skills, not the blocking ones. So it's fine.
What's your guys' thought process on awards for the league? Because we're starting our league next week. I am leaning towards you can only win 1 award. I think that is good. I don't want like one person winning like 4 of the 7 or 8 awards.
So I agree, sometimes you'll go to an event and you like win best offense. You're like, but like I had 3 touchdowns and those guys had 7 and 8. Well, they came in first and second, and then that guy had most casualties, and so it just flows down to sometimes people with like bad performances and losing records end up taking home trophies. That feels a little weird as well. So there's a middle ground. You don't want one person to walk with all 8, but unless the goal is specifically everyone leaves with something, just depends, right? Like my most touchdowns, if I had one on my shelf from a 64-person tournament, would mean something, whereas from an 8-person tournament probably means a lot less.
Yeah.
Parker, what are your thoughts?
That's interesting. My first thought was like, yeah, spread it around, because I'm always about spreading around the recognitions. But you are right. In Blood Bowl specifically, you could take real harsh dives. Like the curve could fall down really fast.
Yeah.
Because the people who are scoring the most are also possibly winning the most, which means that maybe that's what it is. You can absolutely do that if your side achievements are not related directly to winning, right? Or as directly to winning.
Yep. In most tournaments, the most casualties is usually not the person who wins. But best offense and best defense are almost always not the person who actually had the best offense and defense. That's your consolation prize for doing really well, but not coming in first or second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're only going to have a first place. And so obviously that will, I assume the person who wins the league will end up having a lot of touchdowns.
It could be dwarves. Versus like say elves that are playing and scoring a bunch of touchdowns.
No, they're not guaranteed to have the most. Yeah. They'll just have a lot. But also the team that has the most touchdowns will probably also have the MVP, the person with the most star player points, because they scored the most touchdowns. And so unless they spread it around, it's going to be one of their scores, unless like one of their scores died. But I would also like to do a like had most casualties and then dealt most casualties, like the person who lost the most people throughout the league.
Okay,
gets an award.
Yeah.
And then the person who's killed the most people should get an award.
Is there a bounty board?
I don't think we need a bounty board, especially for the first season. Once we start having redraft leagues, I think that makes more sense.
What is a bounty board?
You can basically, if anyone injures X player, let's say like Parker has, what are you even playing? I can't remember. Dark Elves. If someone kills Parker's Witch Elf, number 1, the person that has like 4 skills, I'm offering you a bounty in the league. Like I will give you something for killing that guy.
Like
and so everyone you play against is fouling that guy trying to get the bounty.
If you score on me with a Witch Elf, I will give someone $20 if they stat bust or kill that Witch Elf. And so people will do bounties for lots of different reasons. Like, oh, you fouled me with that model. Guess who's got a bounty on him now? Or when someone just gets to be obscene in Blood Bowl, which can happen after a season or 2.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's my plus think, plus add 6 skill. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
That guy needs to die.
A boost on agility on somebody important. You're like, all of a sudden, this guy becomes a monster.
Yeah.
Like, a good example is that Gutter Runner that was the 1-turn score Gutter Runner. It's like, I have $20 on whoever can kill this motherfucker. And so it becomes a lot more likely because people are going out of their way to try it, and not just you.
Yep. It's just a kind of, it's obviously a more fun, camaraderie theme thing. Taken after the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, that thing they were doing where they're giving people brain damage and mocking them.
Yes, but we can do that in this fantasy game that we play.
That's true. What do you think, Parker?
Allowing bounties?
Yeah.
How do you post them? Like, how do you make one?
There would be a separate
Vocally
thread
yeah.
in the invitational channel. Specific, like there'd be a bounty thread where I could post whatever I wanted to say, if that makes sense.
I think we should keep it to in-game resources, though. Like, it's your team is putting out a bounty.
You do you.
Would you not like that? You'd prefer that I can just the person with the most physical money can hire bounties on all of the opponents.
In-game
to get them
resources
to beat each other up?
are like transferring like actual team gold is like cheating the
our team is
rules
offering
of the game. Me giving someone a 6 case of beers because they took out a witch elf.
I think it's like the the Snotling Savages have decided to put up a 100,000 treasury gold bounty on Gutter Runner number 6 because he ate one of their halflings or something. Like, I think that's fine. Now the issue would be like, do I really care about getting 100,000 gold in the games? Like, it's basically get a free reroll for the rest of the league. That could be cute, but
we're busted.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, towards the end of the league, I think a lot of people are going to have more money than they know what to do with.
Hopefully,
yeah. Except for Parker, all of his people will be dead.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just won't be able. I'll definitely not have that much money, but it'll likely be because I'm not playing any games because it's a league, and that's how I roll in leagues.
Well, you better not start fucking ducking out on people's games.
I won't duck. There'll be no ducking. I'm like a goddamn Neo in this bitch. I'm just gonna time slows as I bend backwards, and the games fly by me with that cool wave motion behind them.
I don't understand what you're trying to imply here.
I'm saying that I am the one who does not do well.
That doesn't make sense.
In leagues.
You are not Jet Li.
I am the one.
Oh, you're saying that you're just going to do poorly, not that you're going to not play your games.
No, I'm just saying something is going to happen to prevent me from playing the games. It has nothing to do with my desire to play Blood Bowl and everything to do with my life and how it's always been.
Parker, if you're not going to show up to play your games, I need to know so we can find somebody else, because you'll be not playing against your opponents.
What happens?
Games as well.
It's the same thing This is the same thing that always happens, which is if there is a time and place that I can be sure to tell everything in my life, get the fuck out of my way, so I can be here on this day and time to always play, and there's a reasonable expectation, I can make that happen. But if somebody says, find a time to play next week, it just never happens because it's so difficult for me to say it. But if you tell me, like, Thursday at 9:00, that's when Parker plays his games, I will be there. Like,
do you think this is an issue of the universe conspiring against you? Because I can tell you there's exactly one person that's causing that issue.
Oh no, it's 100% like all the entanglements that I've allowed in my life. It's 100% like what I have allowed to happen to my life, which is I'm just subject to too many things that are outside of my control. So I steal moments from my life to do the things that I'm excited to do, and that doesn't work well with leagues, because the chances of me stealing a moment at the same time my opponent can steal a moment is really low. So it ends up happening as the week goes by because X, Y, or Z occurred, and so that window closed. But the way I see it working, the reason why I can still do things like tournament play, the reason why I'm excited about tournament play, is I can force open a moment. I can say, this is sacrosanct. No, you can't have this life. This is something that I will let every entity that conspires with my life to know this is sacrosanct. This is sacred. That I can do.
Parker, but you could just do that at the time of your league game.
That's what I'm. No. I have tried that so many times. Doesn't it sound like a reasonable request? Doesn't it sound like something that could just happen? I have failed so many leagues in terms of interaction because of that desire and impossibility. So if people can play play games on a certain day of the week or something, then that'll be fine. But we'll see. I will be pleasantly surprised if I play 3 league games. I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay, we're gonna have a serious problem if you're not gonna play any of your games.
If that causes a huge problem, I cannot guarantee it. I cannot do it. I will not be able to guarantee it. It's never once happened. I shouldn't just go, oh yeah, it'll happen this time. That would be irresponsible to say.
But do you understand what I'm saying, though? Like,
Yeah.
what if you're like, hey, I've agreed to play my opponent at 9 p.m., but then you just described how if there's a time in the week that I know I need to be available, I can make that happen.
Yeah.
But then you say that you don't make it happen for league games, only for tournaments. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh no,
it's the same thing.
No, okay, so this is what doesn't. This is why it happens. It happens because on a tournament, the game store or the TO puts out this information a month in advance. Like it puts it out. It puts it out and says, "This is the spot that everybody meets at. This is the island in the sea. Come to this spot." But when we're two ships trying to navigate, connecting to each other, we're subject to so many more things stopping us. So when somebody says play X, and I go, okay, cool, I need to play that X person, so I gotta connect with them. I have to communicate with them. They have to communicate with me in a timely enough fashion. And then we have to communicate a window that both
I
of us fit in.
understand this. I understand we're just going in circles now, but I don't want to waste any more time.
All right.
I respect that is more of an issue, but like, I may just ask you, please make the effort to make that happen.
Okay. Do not confuse my flippancy with forecasting. Like I'm because I think it's going to happen, I therefore will not put forth an effort. That's not what will happen. I'm going to put forth every effort. We'll just see. We'll see.
Aaron, what do you think?
I think you should find a new player.
Yeah, God damn it. Yeah, everything you just described was like, you just need to schedule a time with the person. It's like just do it. Like, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like how he has time to play Judgment every single week, but won't have time to play the exact same people in a game of Blipple instead of Judgment. Like, it's going to be great. What can possibly go wrong? Okay, so only one award. I think I'm still happy with the only one award. We'll see. There's a few other things I want to bring up with more than just one piece built there. I haven't been able to get everyone together and talk at the same time, so I'm hoping that tomorrow is going to be that day. So at least get the majority of the people there so we can chat about it. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Mojo World. This week in Mojo World, we have football movies, American football movies. All right, so I won last week because I have the best taste, and everyone knows it. All right, let's see who got second place. Parker, were you here? You were not here last week.
Nope.
This was Josh. Okay, so Aaron gets to go first.
We're gonna go with The Replacements.
Strong choice on my list. That means I'm next.
Yes, sir.
Good. We're gonna go with the one that matters the most to me, The Waterboy.
This is gonna get tight, I can tell.
Yeah. I've got one in here I know you guys don't have, and I'm going to say it last no matter what, because I think it's perfectly encapsulates. It's good. Let's go. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna go with Any Given Sunday, and then I'm gonna go with Draft Day, just because I know Aaron wants it.
I left it for you.
I know, and it's also.
I was gonna take it on the rebound though.
Draft Day is tomorrow, so that's me. Draft Day and Any Given Sunday. Parker, you are up.
Remember the Titans.
Remember. All right, Aaron, get back to backs.
Back to back. We're gonna start off with Necessary Roughness, and we'll take it home with The Last Boy Scout.
I am very glad that you picked two movies that were not on my list because I was running out fast.
Well, Necessary Roughness should be on everyone's list.
I haven't seen it. I'll put that on my list. Hold on.
It is a good one? The Replacements,
okay,
but with a different cast and slightly different
it's a very
premise.
similar concept. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm a big Scott Bakula fan in just about everything he ever did. So
cool.
Horribly underrated in everything he did, by the way. From
is that
Star
including
Trek and Quantum Leap. Go ahead.
Yeah, is that including the episodes of Always Sunny he was in?
I haven't. Now I'm
only in
intrigued.
one.
Now I want to play some or watch
It's a
some
really
Always
good one
Sunny.
though.
He wasn't he plays himself as his Quantum Leap character.
He plays himself as Scott Bakula in Quantum Leap.
Yeah, that's right. He
got
does play
stuck in
himself
a
as
leap.
Scott Bakula. Yeah, he plays himself as all three characters. That's right.
Yeah, he plays the character from Quantum Leap that gets leapt into being Scott Bakula in our world, and he gets stuck here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so he's like an old janitor, and he's like, I can't believe I got stuck here. And the gang gets quantum leapt into where he is. It's pretty great. All right, Parker.
I'm gonna go. You guys didn't take the one I thought you were gonna take, so I'm gonna take my actual pick as opposed to my gag pick. It's Leatherheads. I really like Leatherheads.
I haven't seen it. All right, so I'm gonna go with final pick Jerry Maguire. All right, honorable mentions. I have the New Kids on the Block movie Invincible, and then I've got The Longest Yard from 05.
My gag pick was Concussion because I thought that'd be funny.
No, it definitely counts.
I know.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to. I'll put it on my list.
It's not. It's not really like a pro football per se.
It's definitely not pro football.
It
I mean, it's now more ironic now that he's out here slapping people in the head.
Not gonna lie, it does not age well at post slap. It's kind of hard to see him like advocate for nonviolence when he went up and hit somebody in the head. Like, it's not. It doesn't watch the same.
Aaron, did you have any honorable mentions? Since you said you had 1,000.
I had others that I could have taken if I wanted to. You Stole Invincible, The Program, The Blind Side.
I heard some really bad stuff came out about the Blind Side people after the movie came out. And so, like, it's supposed to be this big heartwarming story, but apparently they were, like, terrible people.
I know nothing.
I've not heard that.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, like, I mean, this is all hearsay. I don't know the exact details, so I won't get into it because I don't want to misrepresent. But I've heard that the lady from the movie is a very shady person. All right. I think that wraps us up then. All right, so Parker's going to show up at 11:59 to hang out for 1 minute before going home. It's going to be fun.
Oh, you're going to
Aaron will be there. Aaron, are you bringing your goblins?
Maybe. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably bring a Blood Bowl team of some sort.
He's desperate to not play goblins as many games as possible. It's pretty great.
Did you sign up?
Practice bleeding for so long.
Did you sign up for goblins?
Uh-huh.
In the league, Aaron?
Yeah.
But you don't want to play goblins? I'm a little confused. What's the joke?
He doesn't want to play 0 XP goblins.
Oh.
Goblins are objectively one of the 2 worst teams in all of Blood Bowl.
Oh, I don't know.
Who's the other one? Who's
not
you're pushing it a bit, though.
Objectively. Ogres.
Ogres are way worse.
Goblins usually have a worse win percent than ogres because ogres can be so frustrating to play on a game by game basis. But the other games, they just don't bonehead and they smash their opponent to smithereens.
I think the issue is that goblins are actually hard to play because they have very complex pieces beyond their shitty linemen, right? And so, like, all their secret weapon stuff, like, it's easy for new players to play them very badly. And I think that's part of the issue that they have such a bad win rate.
We'll see. But, yeah, I don't need to play. I'm already going to play, 10 games, 14 games with them? Like, we don't need to increase that anymore.
Just assuming he's going to make the playoffs over here.
Yep.
I think it's a good assumption. I'd put money on that. I would.
I mean, it's going to be way ahead of I finished 3 games Parker.
Yeah, that's true. Parker, do you think you're going to make the playoffs?
Oh, the playoffs? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the odds are?
On the back of blind dumbass luck. Oh, never tell me the odds. The odds will be terrible. But I'll make it anyway.
I bet the odds are not as bad as you think they are.
I'm predicting Parker Dice all the way. I'm predicting.
Okay, so
Parker Dice.
For people at home, we have the infamous Invitational Blood Bowl League, the IIBBL. It reminds me of what's the code for books? It's like the ISSB or whatever. It's like it reminds me of that code every time I see it. But it's the IIBBL. And so we've got 2 divisions. We've got East versus West, which Parker should love.
Yep.
So Parker, make sure you name all your people. Actually, Tour Play automatically names your people if you don't. And then make sure you come up with a fun team name. But on the West, we have myself, we have CJ, Josh, and Tyler. So I'm playing Norse, CJ is playing Gnomes, Josh is playing Dwarves, and Tyler is playing Halflings. So we've got a bunch of short people, and then me. And so that should be fun. And then on the east side...
run away with that league.
Yeah, exactly.
I predict you'll win, though.
We'll see. I don't know. I think I'm going to take massive casualties because my opponent's armor rolls are always amazing.
Yep.
On the east side, we've got Aaron playing Goblins. We've got Kenny playing Skaven. We've got Ryan playing Snotlings, and then Parker playing Dark Elves. So we've got the agility side, and then we've got the short people side.
No, you guys take all your fucking block and stay over on your own goddamn
exactly.
bank of the river.
Exactly. The non-divisional games are going to be rough for the Dodge teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, both divisions have 2 stunty teams, which means half stunty, which is incredibly high.
Yeah.
So many stunty teams. And then 2 of the non-stunty teams are Skaven and Dark Elves, so it's like the lack of armor league. Josh has the only team that has armor above 8.
Yeah, other than Bash is or Dwarves. Dwarves is the only Bash team. Norse is a little bit.
Yeah. And so we're going to play 2 division games against each divisional opponent, which is 6 games, and then we'll have 1 non-division game against each non-divisional opponent, which is another 4. So 10 weeks of play. We'll have 2 bye weeks. 1 is halfway through, and 1 is right before playoffs. That'll give people chances to make up or just take a break, so they're not playing every week. And then we're going to use the standings of the league to seed an 8-person playoff bracket. So everyone will be making the playoffs in the first season. And then your standings will just determine who you're playing against.
Will the playoffs be like a tournament day or like a...
We could do it. It'll just be single elimination bracket. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be. It can be. It's just, was it 7 games? Yeah, so it's just 7 games. If we want to play it all in one day, we can. If not, whatever.
I think that sounds like a fun mix. I do like that mix. That sounds like a fun variety.
Yeah. So, Parker, make sure you set up your team in tour play tonight so that I can get the schedule posted so everyone knows when they're playing who.
Tour play?
I need everybody in before I can do it.
Tour play. Okay.
Go to the league channel that I have added you at several times and read the fucking posts.
Okay.
And he's like, I just can't. I don't know how to get with people. Maybe it's the fact that you don't read the fucking league channel. That's why you can't get your fucking games in. God damn it.
There are many things that prevent me from doing this.
It's a myriad of factors. It's a multitude of bailiwicks is my issue.
It is. It's a multitude. That's a callback. That's a deep cut.
Dude, that's like episode 25.
Multiplicity of bailiwicks.
That's right. Multiplicity of bailiwicks. Oh, shit. That's good. A multiplicity of bailiwicks. That's a good one to go off on. That's good. I like that. Shit.
So yeah, tomorrow is preseason, so everybody's going to show up, get some practice games in to make sure they know their teams, and then we will do kickoff next week. And then also we'll probably watch a little bit of the NFL draft, mainly picks 9 and 29.
Yeah, but why?
I swear to God, if the Chiefs take an offensive tackle in the first round, I'm going to shoot myself in front of everybody.
Okay. You can tell me why tomorrow. I'm curious, but...
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time. If Parker doesn't play his games, I'm going to tell every listener we have to direct message him on Discord and make fun of him.
I would deserve it. I would deserve it.
You do deserve it, not would. You do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. This has been Brandon.
And Parker.
And Aaron.
And you just listened to Preseason.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.